Hello, my name is Zach Rye with Old Man Gaming. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Astral Drive, our ongoing actual play in the single mod system. I will be your game master tonight. However, I cannot do this without my wonderful, exquisite players. Directly above my head, you see Aether Dios / Jerrold Abrego.
Yellow.
Right in the middle, our resident build master general, nursing a little bit of a cold, Philbilly330 playing Nullis Stonehand.
What's up, guys?
And then finally, last but certainly not least, our partner in all things TTRPG, Wizards Respite's Ash. He is playing Alfred White Castle.
Howdy, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right back into the action as things continue to heat up. Jerrold. You find yourself on a large convoy of, well, not a large convoy, like a large, it's weird, it's almost like a limousine ATV, if you can think of something like that. It is a big, kind of wide wheels with very heavy suspension, but it is still enclosed and armored on the backside and kind of double long. Which is not actually even remotely a problem on Genesis, since everybody had, like, Genesis is like one resource is space, so there is just plenty of space everywhere. But yeah, it has actually 6 wheels instead of 2. Instead of 4, and it's just really big, really long. Would not be street legal today, unless you're driving one of those insane truck rigs. So, this is how you guys are going to be heading out there, which is truly something kind of in style. However, as you guys kind of start to approach the thing, you see that the Synam, Elonor, is welcomed inside, as is Tobias. Tobias goes in first because, obviously, Elonor right behind him. But the Felly actually mounts up. I can't remember what we called horses on Genesis. Did anybody take a note of what we called horses? If I recall correctly, they were like lizard-like, though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were like reptilian-esque, but I don't remember what they were called.
The first continuity break of the season. I am not sure what they are called either. In any case, she mounts up on that, which basically it looks kind of like a horse, but it has much more of a triangular reptilian face, like that of an iguana or like a gecko. It has kind of heavy scales down its neck, kind of like almost kind of like a Komodo dragon in that way, and then it has actually just 2 claws at the very bottom of its feet. They're not quite hooved, but the whole kind of foot is a claw that kind of help it to grip and climb a little bit. She kind of mounts up on that, just kind of looks at you, kind of waiting for you to get into the truck, basically.
All right.
You actually... She tips her hat at you. You're kind of... I mean, it is weird that she's deciding to ride outside, but you do see that some of the people, some of the other mercenary soldiers, they kind of hook some horses to the back of the truck. This is not torture. This is a kind of a known practice for these kind of things. They'll drive out there, but they'll drive slowly so that the horses don't, have problems or whatever. And but that way you guys can ride there in style and then have horses for the different kind of areas that we need to go to. I do not remember what these things were called.
Sorry, I did not write down that.
I am going to write it down right now. I'm going to call them tactiles, so that we can start using a name for it. Everybody out there, if I named it something else in the beginning, me bad.
It's been changed.
So yeah, So you hop in, you shut the door. It's very nice inside as this thing kind of like kicks up and starts to move. There's plenty of drinks and food, plenty of nice seating, kind of all around the back. It's not really like, it's much more like a business limousine than like a party limousine or something like that. So yeah, you guys all sit down. You sit down and you find that Elonor sits right next to you. The Synom, the missionary Synom. She hasn't really taken her eyes off you since she met you whenever you're around.
Yeah, although... he's kind of used to it at this point.
Yes.
Is noted, but not massively put off by it. Also, this is a big vehicle if I'm just comfortably walking around and sitting in it.
You definitely have to hunch over, but like you're not you don't have any problem sitting.
Though.
No. It's big enough without a doubt. I would not say that this is like you could like dance around in here. It feels kind of like a sub to you, I guess would be the best way to say it. But you can sit very comfortably in the seats without problems. You sit down, the whole thing gets running. You do notice that Etod never takes his eyes off the Synom, and he has kind of like a curl in his lip every time she kind of moves anywhere near you. He's kind of giving you distinct, I don't like this one vibes.
Yeah, that's what I kind of expect more of. His taking to Relate was more surprising.
I do want to ask you, now that we've already left, what were you planning on taking with you?
Ooh.
Did you take the diary, the religion-ending diary, to study it, or did you leave it back at the chateau?
I have that hidden on my person.
Okay.
Because it terrifies the shit out of me.
As well it should.
Also, like, that... I can't leave it in the room or something now that I've stolen it, as it is. No. Not gonna let that just conveniently be found by somebody.
Okay.
That can destroy the entire political structure of your entire community and half the planet.
And a good portion of the system, but yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now.
Let me ask you a question that I just straight up don't remember. Did you get a gun back, or are you still weaponless?
No, I don't have squat. I have I have the clothes I wore here and like 2 changes that were provided that probably fit me.
Okay, all right.
I got nothing. Well, you granted me the permission to have that I can. My armor still counts.
Yes, yeah, because you still have your armor, yeah.
But that's about it.
Okay, all right.
I do still have my knife.
Yes.
I keep that thing on me.
You have stats for that, right? We don't need to figure that out. Okay. One thing. So, are you still wearing your armor then?
No, I had to dress nicely for this one.
Okay. All right. So, I was about to say you're gonna get a tongue lashing if you were definitely.
Oh yeah, no, that's
okay.
Nope.
Well, with that sorted out, and I want to say, other than the change of clothes you brought, Tobias Pelton has supplied like tailored clothes for you, basically on the premise that you need to dress what you are now, which is the soon to be high priest of the was it? It's Matthias, right?
Yeah.
The High Father of the Matthias of the Book of Matthias. Like this is going to be a huge thing. So you have gotten tailored clothes. They're glowed and broiled, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time you put them on, there is this angry old voice, angry old orc voice in your head that kind of You're gonna wear that? No, he's not demon touched like Nullis, but it is Nullis's long lost father.
A lot of influence, that guy.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, you definitely hear Malgarak's voice in your head, like, oh, he would hate this. He would hate that I'm in this.
I'm not even terrible. Like, I didn't really wear this for a minute, so is very uncomfortable now.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see how many suits that are worth more than most characters' starting funds I destroy by the end of this game.
Well, I am going to give you a little bonus on these, because these actually count weirdly as armor. You are going to get... You have 2... Sorry, gotta turn to that page of the book. Alright.
I'm concerned that you find it necessary to tell me this stage and not just offline.
Right. Okay, so you have 2 items, basically. It's the shirt. You have other things, like it's a full outfit, but like the shirt and the pants are what counts for armor in this case. They are technically light armor of high quality, which means you get an extra 6 vitality from them, which is nice. But because you have 2 on, you will have a -1 on all of your offensive attacks. Okay? However, it does activate level 1 of their defensive effect, which is Magnificent. This armor is more about protecting wealth and stature than actual protection. Your character's finance is always considered to be +3 when you have these on.
Well, gosh, that's...
You look rich.
All right.
You just exude money. So it is easier to leverage things that you don't have. It is easier to get things. You just exude it, basically. So there you go. So now that you have those stats written down, the sign you're still kind of tackling with the voice in your head, and after a couple of minutes of silence, awkward silence, the Sign-On breaks the silence and goes, you just don't understand what an inspiration you are to my people and your people. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt if you're in quiet reflection, but I'm not going to get many chances to speak to you in the future. Not unless I ascend well beyond my station.
Oh, no, there's plenty of time to see what will be written. I appreciate your thoughts, and it is... I am blessed as well to be in the presence of others considered for such tasks.
She goes, oh, you're so humble. To then put it back on me, truly, you understand the word of Matthias. And then she kind of looks at you and goes, I have heard some of your exploits. What you ended up doing on Axiom, not only have you excelled in the teachings of Matthias, the teachings of finance and money, but you've excelled even in the teachings of Genoshaba. You would make a fine missionary as well with the work that you did there, at least from what I've been able to hear. There are plenty of parts of the story that I have missed. I would love it if you told me the whole thing, if you don't mind, if you find the time.
Oh, there's I find myself wondering what sorts of tales have been told of me from this.
Is that what you say to her?
Yep.
She just kind of looks at you and goes, oh, sorry. Just would have thought you would have been privy to your own stories. No, what we heard is that you did this amazing mission with the Hearth Collective, that you helped to pilot the Missionary One in a terrible snowstorm, to bring peace to not just a tribe of Northlanders, but a hostile one at that, to bring the word of Matthias to them. That is brave. Bringing only with you your wits and your faith. You were, of course, attacked, beset, and somehow survived in the wilderness alone, something us Genoshabans are trained in, but you did it without that training, only your knowledge of accounting, and all just to save some heathens from themselves. You are truly an inspiration. I was just hoping you could maybe tell the full story to me.
Oh, that's quite a bit of it. As Matthias teaches us, sometimes what you get for free costs entirely too much.
Good line. Oh man,
I 100% with the Book of Matthias.
I need to write that down so I make sure that if the book is ever said, it gets re-quoted.
I definitely have not been cribbing things to create my own little.
Brian's focused on the world work as well.
So
they're gonna be Ferengis when I'm done with them. All right. So she just smiles. Your wisdom, it is phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see how you communicate with these heathens. I mean, unenlightened like us, and we can find a way to maybe bring them into our fold. Honestly, the Genoshabans have been looking for a way to bring the Fellies into the Pilgrim Society for some time now. Their migratory nature makes them very difficult to pin down. Plus, the tribes are very solo. They lack any sort of base connectivity, so it's very hard to get more than just a tribe here or there to join in, to understand the words. I am hoping to make some progress there. It would be a true boon if not only a missionary, but a Sina missionary were able to somehow bring the Fellies into the fold. It would be something.
It certainly would. There are many paths, and investment is not a task to be hurried.
She nods at you. I understand. I must be patient. I see it. I hope, it is my request that you and I maybe can work together in this endeavor. If these negotiations go well, maybe we can talk Highfather Pelton into allowing us to maybe convince these Fellies to see the light. I think with your help, we might be able to do it.
I'm going to.
You want to ask for a roll?
That's skills.
Fine.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy more skills.
Ask for perception, empathy. Try to kind of get more of a.
All right.
If there's more of an angle to this than is that face value.
Empathy is mostly emotions and kind of emotions, which I will give you based on whatever you roll. But if you're really trying to like cold read her, it would be perception awareness. If she's trying to scam you, I guess.
I have more points than that. I'll take that.
Okay. All right. Like, perception, empathy will definitely give you a better read on who she is as a person, whereas perception awareness is much more like is this bitch lying to me or trying to scam me? Like, that kind of thing. Like, those are the two differences, I guess. Like, are you trying to figure out if she's trying to trick you, or are you just trying to figure out who she is as a person?
That's a good question. This is.
I'm gonna say this.
I would like.
you could roll both if you
know her
want.
in person. I think that Jerrold would be trying to detect something nefarious at this stage, though.
Okay, all right. Well, you can roll both. Like I said, I will give you the difficulties in between. You want to do perception awareness first?
Yep.
And again, you don't have to roll the second one. I'm not making you, but if you do roll and you fail and I get a momentum, I'm not going to turn it down.
I know.
Perception awareness, your difficulty is 10 on the detect lie thing.
Well, if it's contested, that's a 20.
It is not contested. It is a difficulty 10. You beat it by 20, which means you will gain a momentum. And basically, she's not lying. She is very honest, very earnest. She's up front. This is what she wants. She wants to bring the word to the Felly, and she wants the help of you, who apparently has become a folk hero overnight. So that's the truth. Now, do you want to take the shot at the empathy?
Yep.
Okay. This difficulty is 15.
Oh, so close.
What'd you get?
13.
Should have spent for that advantage. I mean, extra D20.
Yeah.
Don't sue us. Okay.
You're right.
All right. I don't get a momentum.
I was
out of it,
optimistic.
though.
I was going for it.
I don't get a momentum. I'm close enough. Okay, so here's what I'll give you. Her emotions are very hard to read. She speaks with the lift that I'm doing is how she speaks. She is very quiet, very emotionless. I do want you really quickly to give me a knowledge intelligence roll at a difficulty of 10.
Or intelligence, knowledge intelligence.
Yeah. That's not a good noise.
10 exactly.
Ooh, that's technically a fail, but I'm going to give you a little bit because of that. Genoshaba is the most mysterious book when it comes to the shepherdism and the religion, because the Genoshabans are... Some people are like, the Genoshabans are honorable, wonderful missionaries. Other people are, the Genoshabans are super spies who do that shit, who work that way under the light of, under the kind of banner of religion. So if you have the money as Matthias, and you have the force is Bartholomew, well, Genoshabans would like you to believe they're the friendly guys, but they're also the knowledge. So, and the knowledge, I mean, you're a Star Trek guy, you know who does knowledge. So, like, they are not always good people. So, yeah. So just heads up, Genoshaba has some kind of, like, bad rumors about them. Not rumors that are spoken about a lot, but the Genoshaban, like, Genoshaban mercenaries and how the Genoshabans work are very hush-hush. Very quiet, you know?
Oh, that's fine. I don't trust anybody. I started off with cold reading, so not just, but slightly comforted in that at least it's, as far as I know, not any more of a dastardly conspiracy than I'm usually under.
This is true. All right, we switch over to our wayward starship people. You guys have, like I said, about 18 hours before you get there. You're going to have, I want to say, like a day to get to the Missionary 1 tops once you get there. Give or take and get it back. Nonetheless, you have 18 hours in kind of astral space. So, is there anything you guys want to do in that time?
I wanted to talk to the girl who's with Shoot. I don't
Mavis?
think I wrote it. Yes.
You want to talk to the Arma?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the chick that, man, I didn't write down names last time.
You're fine.
But, Ash's buddy, that's the one he's attracted to, right?
Yes. Yes, that was the one that was weirdly flirting with Croak. And, like, they don't look the same age, but Mavis is you would know this more than Alfred because you're from Genesis and you've seen old Armas, but she is at least 10 to 20 years older than you.
Okay.
Like, she's an older person. She is almost a senior. Croak looks a million. You have no idea how old he is. But
he's human, right?
Yeah, he's human. Go. We all hope so. Yeah, right. My favorite fucking NPC right now. Okay, so you want to talk to her. Before we do that, I really quickly want to ask Alfred something. Since we all now know you're a vampire, I don't think that anybody has actually figured out how you've been doing the whole vampire masking things yet. I don't know if we've ever actually talked about that. But I think we could just talk about that and they won't metagame with it. But the bracelet that stops this from being a problem, what are you doing with this now that you're in space? Are you just taking it off and going free full power? Are you keeping it on? What is it?
Yeah, if it's not going to affect me while we're in the astral space, I'll probably take it off, yeah.
Okay, so you can reset all your perks and all your losses from that bracelet. However, here's the dealio. I do want to just lay this all out on the line before you decide what you're going to do next. Because when you go into this ship, okay, you're in space, period. Depending on where the sun is, you will still be vulnerable to it if you do not wear your bracelet inside. Okay, I just want to keep that very clear.
Right.
So
once we get out of...
you are not safe from the sun in space. I don't know that we ever really discussed that. You're not safe from the sun in space. Period. So, like, depending on whether the sun will be visible at any one given time to you through, like, windows or whatever, you might be in trouble. Should you leave the bracelet. Okay? Just for everybody out there, I'm just going to let them in since we're this far in. The way Alfred has been keeping this a secret is he has secret technology, a bracelet that he puts on his wrist that slowly saps his powers but makes him immune to sunlight, which is how he's been getting away with all of his sneaking around. However, every, hour, I think, that you have it on?
I think so, yeah.
Every hour that he has it on, he loses a perk randomly, at random, until he takes it off again and resets. That's how Alfred has been dealing with a lot of issues.
Yeah. That's been very challenging in certain situations. If I'm not using a perk, there may be a reason why.
Well, and just for edification in the background, guys, I have been having him on, like, I want to say on text, and I would just be like, another perk down. And he would have to, like, secretly roll for what perk he lost and not be able to use at the time. All right. So, that out of the way, we'll go back to Nullis. Nullis, you go to find Mavis alone. It's not a huge ship, by the way. I think I did point that out last time. There's some bedrooms, a really big cargo hold, and then the main bridge.
I'd say Pickles is click-clacking with
Oh,
me.
yeah. Pickles, who is the most used to space Razorback that has ever existed in the history, has no problems whatsoever. He's click-clacking with you. You see that Mavis actually is just like, she kind of walks over, because remember, you guys, if I recall correctly, you guys were all in a bunkhouse, if I said that correctly. I think Mavis was going to end up sharing the room with Croak for obvious disgusting reasons. So she goes kind of off into the captain's quarters, which you're welcome to follow her into. And by captain's quarters, it's just a bedroom. Like, that's all it is. You kind of walk into that, and she just kind of, like, sits down, and she's, like, cracking her neck, and then she sees you kind of enter, mainly because Pickles is click-clacking behind you. It's pretty hard to miss your entrance at this moment in time. She just kind of looks up and goes, Yeah? Can I help you?
I didn't get to properly introduce myself, ma'am, and seeing as how we're both from Axiom, I thought we may share some commonalities. So I extend my hand, and I'm
Quick question. Did you mean to say Genesis?
yeah, sorry.
You're fine. She kind of looks at you and goes, I hope you don't take offense to this, but you look mighty strange for Genosian. And then she extends her hand and shakes yours.
Yeah, I shake her hand. Name's Nullis. Nullis Stonehand. Maybe you've heard of my father's ranch. I suppose I technically am not from Genesis. You are correct in that, but seeing as how my entire known life has been there, it's what I call home.
Real quick perception awareness check with a difficulty of 10.
Where the hell did my dice?
You're probably going to need those.
I just got them. Oh, they're hiding from me. Perception awareness, you said?
Yeah.
I rolled a 12, and then so 14, 15.
Okay. So you find out when she shakes your hand, she shakes it slightly awkwardly, and she gives a weird kind of half bow. You know that the tribes on Genesis tend to like bow or do kind of different salutes other than handshaking for greetings. Even though, which is weird to you because the Armas are a inducted culture, they have become part of the Pilgrim Society since the Shellrot incident. But again, that has been within, I think, your lifetime. So there are definitely Armas that were tribal who are now part of the Pilgrims.
She does this instead of shaking my hand?
No,
or
she shakes it.
To?
Yeah, she shakes it, but you just instinctively, in addition to you, she kind of half bows and catches herself. Like almost like she goes to bow and then realizes you're shaking, you want to shake hands, and then she shakes your hand kind of awkwardly. And you get the feeling that this is a holdover from like kind of like a tribal culture that she was a part of. She is definitely more in touch with the tribal part, which is weird for an Arma because they are an inducted culture.
Can I make an intelligence check to know if Nullis would possibly have seen that and know what tribe she
Do it.
comes from?
I mean, you would know. It's tricky with the Arma because they were kind of like a widespread tribe. They were centered, but I'll give you more tribal information about her. We'll say a difficulty of 10.
And what am I rolling?
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligence, knowledge.
It's a total of 11.
Okay. So here's what you know about Arma culture. Arma culture was not a divisive tribalism sort of species. Instead, they were one big culture. They had become one big tribe, so to speak, when the Pilgrims came over. So they were kind of a nation unto themselves before the Shellrot happened. So she wouldn't necessarily be a tribe per se, but she would be part of that, part of those older ways. You also do see that she has a shillelagh, a specific Arma shillelagh, which, just to let you know, anybody who doesn't know what a shillelagh is out there, it's basically a wooden stick with a wooden knob at the end. And surprisingly used a lot in professional wrestling, if you could believe it. But an Arma shillelagh is fucking huge because Armas are huge. So remember this thing, a shillelagh is like a club, and the Armas are huge. So this thing is like the size of a baseball bat, which is not usually how big a shillelagh is. But you also know immediately that the Arma version of the kind of shillelagh is something Arma shamans would hold when they were there. Shamans were people who could use the Nex energy without the implants before the pilgrims ever arrived and started, manufacturing and figuring out the implants.
Okay.
You also see probably a couple of markings on her that other people would kind of write off as like grooves in her shell, but you kind of pick up as like tribal markings on her. Like she has been, like the Arma version of a tattoo is to kind of draw in your shell, and she has like drawings in her shell of like different tribal stuff on here.
Basically, I know she's seen a lot in her life from
without a doubt, and she is probably either shaman or shaman adjacent, or was at least.
All right, I acknowledge her bow. Weird thing. With a nod, and I'm like, so. I'm sorry if this comes off as very forward, Mavis, but I know
she laughs and goes, "Forward isn't my problem. I'm bunking with Croak, first of all. Second of all, we're about to go into probably one of the most deadly situations that I can think of, so be as forward as you want, Mr. Stonehand. You gotta trust me."
Well, you said it first. Obviously, you're an experienced and an Arma that's been around, judging by your markings and all that. So I gotta ask, what's with you and Croak?
She goes, "Well, that is forward. I've gotta say, coming in here and asking me about my love life as your first out of the gate question." Well, look, all I can say is...
I interrupt her. I'm like, I ain't interested in the details. This is more of...
I should hope not.
I'm like, this is more of a what's in it for you type question.
Give me a... I want a charisma... not manipulation. I want like a charisma performance from you. Because this is a weird, awkward situation. I want to see if you get a little awkward with it, or if you keep it smooth.
Charisma. I don't think I have any performance. That's what I was checking.
No negative, but very few people do, in fairness.
What's my difficulty?
I would say 10. I mean, it's moderate. This is pretty...
I nailed that one. I got nice. 18 total.
Wow, that's a momentum for you. Yeah. She kind of... So you keep it smooth. And she goes, she goes, "Look, girls got to have fun sometimes. And Croak is an interesting person. And that's all there is to say about that. As far as what we're about to do here, I have my own reasons for being up there, but... you better believe I'll watch your back and your friend's back."
I don't doubt that. You seem quite capable. The other thing I had to ask, I couldn't help but notice you dropped a picture of somebody that I'm familiar with, and wondered how you were an acquaintance of him.
Ooh. Alright, now I'm gonna have to get her stats out. Alright.
This is like a bomb drop.
Yeah, she kind of looks at you for a really long time. Her eyes narrow and her demeanor changes. You don't necessarily think that, like, she dislikes you, but you could tell that she is very cautious of you and what you've just asked.
Didn't mean to strike a nerve with you, lady.
She's like, "How do you know Jerrold?"
We've been, I suppose you could call it partners. Not in the same way as you and Croak, of course. Partners in a professional capacity.
Getting real awkward in this fucking cabin. She looks at you. Well, that's good. That's good. Jerrold's a friend. That's all I can say right now. But he's very important to me. And
was he like your fling before you met Croak?
She kind of like smiles at the idea of that, and then goes, "No, nothing like that. More like a ward for him before he got himself into the situation that he's in now. I keep his picture to remind myself of what can happen when the Armas listen too long to the wrong people."
So you believe that Jerrold is corrupt? Is that what I'm gathering from this?
No, Jerrold's not corrupt. Jerrold is potentially one of the most good-natured and well-meaning people I have ever known. But there are a lot of people around him who are very corrupt.
Do you worry he's getting too close to those people, or?
I'm worrying those people are getting too close to him.
Yeah, proximity is a difficult thing to understand usually when one's close to one, the other, yeah.
She looks at you for a really long time, kind of like peering into you for a second, and then she goes, "You're an orc from Genosha who served in the Hearth Collective with a pet razorback."
Yeah, a bit of a mess, I know.
I am pretty sure proximity is dangerous for all of us.
Oh, trust me. And that's only half of it. My therapist would, if I had one of those things, it would be, fuck, I couldn't afford one if I tried.
That's the actual problem in the Hearth system, is there are no therapists. That's why everybody's so fucking crazy.
So we figured out how you're going to nerf my finance stat.
She just
paying for therapy.
And all the stuff we break? Oh man, I can't bankroll that.
She looks at you and goes, "We'll get this done. And it'll be better for everybody involved, whether they're in a picture or in person."
Well, and then hopefully, if so, the ones in pictures will become in person. That's my understanding of the goal of all this.
Yeah, I hope so. But finding the person in this picture does no good until we finish this mission. At least for me.
And why is that, Mavis? Haven't been fully debriefed as to I came, in a hurry, obviously, with the speed this mission must be done in. So, what do you mean by that exactly?
She just looks right at you and goes, "Well, we all need money, right? And you may now give me a contested perception awareness check." Mavis will manipulation.
19, 23.
Alright. You can very easily tell she's lying, but you also can tell that she has no interest in telling any more to this story. So she just kind of looks at you almost with her eyes like, "Look, this is the best I can do for you right now."
I will be like, I say, well, I'm sure there'll be much coin in it for you. And I wink at her, and kind of like giving her the hint that I know she's full of shit. But
that's fair. She nods at you.
And I'll be like, well, thanks for the chat, miss. I'm going to head to the captain and try to get some more information of this, mission that we are headed to. It was nice to meet you, Mavis.
Nice to meet you too, Nullis. Looking forward. You walk back out. You see that the Santacano is already in the corner, just meditating peacefully, like staring off into the middle distance.
Is he like conscious, or is he in another like?
You're not sure. His eyes are wide open, but he's just staring at like a wall.
What does his eyes look like? I'm definitely.
I actually posted a picture of him at some point. I feel like I used an AI generator. Don't make you get mad at me. But I just did Cactus Man, and like that's what I kind of came up with. I'll post a new picture to you guys. I think there's one somewhere in the Astral Drive threads.
You with us, buddy?
He takes a second, and then finally he kind of like snaps and looks at you and goes, "Oh, I am sorry. Is there something I can do for you, Nullis Stone Hand?"
No, Santacano, you just looked like you were in some sort of trance. I wasn't trying to interrupt whatever that was, but just making sure you're alright. Remember, I ain't too familiar with your kind.
He nods. No offense taken. Few are familiar with my kind. We do not sleep or need rest because of our biologies. So we can be bored for very long periods of time. I was just being bored. He was doing a treat thing. That's a t-shirt right there. Doing a tree thing.
That's cool. That's cool. Most people, like whittle or something to pass the time.
Tell a tree person.
I was about to say he actually gives you a hard look, and he's like, "I will not be whittling any time soon."
Oh shit! That's stuff, ain't it? Yeah, fuck.
You swear pickles Snickers. You're not exactly. You're sure he doesn't get humor, but somehow is like.
I ain't always good at this, Santacano, and I mean, in that sense, I think we're both in the same boat. You're a little strange, and I'm a little uncouthful at times, so it works out.
He nods. He goes, "We are all the strange ones in other people's stories."
Should write that shit down, Santacano.
He shakes his head. He goes, "It only sounds wise because I talk slowly."
That's a trick, isn't it? Even that shit you say just comes off as wise. I'm gonna have to write this stuff down. Put, once a wise man once said, and quotes by Santacano. I'm gonna start a notebook, sir.
Please use something other than paper. and before you get offended, he starts to like do his weird ha 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 laugh at you.
That's my favorite NPC so far.
He's awesome. It's just
awesome.
painful to talk to him for too long.
Painful to talk to him for too long. It's painful to talk as Croak for too long. So, all right. So, anything else you wanted to go talk to Alfred, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna head towards Alfred, and I just tell Santa kind of like, don't get too bored, because someone might think you've gone and slipped into a coma or something. But
he very slowly nods back.
But yeah, I want to head up towards Alfred's.
Okay. You guys, like I said, you guys are all in a bunk that he's kind of like a crew bunk with like 4 or 5 bunks in it. So Alfred's just back in a bunk, and Nullis, you walk in.
I just hop up on the bed right next to him, sit next to him, dangling my feet, and I'm like, so, I gotta talk to you about a few things. Well, first off, obviously we left in a bit of a rush. I understand that we're going to get the ship where, well, let me start here. Mavis. What do you know about her?
For reasons I cannot explain, she's enamored with the pilots of this ship.
Yeah, I thought the same thing and thought there was something behind it. She might actually like the dude. I'm not sure.
Reasons you can't explain. He's Croak. Jesus.
I was trying to get insight onto what was in it for her, and it seems like I was just prying in on love, so I kind of backed off on that one. But do you know she knows Abrego?
I did not. She was introduced to me at the same time she was you. I made this arrangement for Croak to take us to the Hive ship, but I didn't know about anybody else, and certainly not anybody who's already tied to Abrego.
She's got a picture of him in her wallet and stuff and everything. Carries that shit around with her.
Interesting. I've had my suspicions of Croak since I met him. He's been hired by the High Father.
Tobias Pelton.
Tobias Pelton, thank you. I was just trying to find that name. He's been hired by Tobias Pelton, which means I cannot fully trust his motivations. Though he does seem awfully mercenary, I don't know if he has any alternative motives. And now this tie to Abrego, who Tobias is holding hostage. Something.
Wait, so Croak works for Tobias?
He was contracted to some degree to take me to the Hive ship so that we could retrieve the Missionary 1.
Oh, so in theory, we're currently working for Tobias to hopefully free Abrego.
Essentially,
trying to put these puzzle pieces together, as you know, we kind of left in a hurry.
It was. We are on a time limit. Yes, I understand.
I get that.
Yes. Tobias is holding Abrego hostage, and the ransom is the Missionary 1, which has been captured by these entities. The
Scalara. The Scalara plague.
Scalara, thank you.
They're called the Pale. Yeah.
Well, maybe then. Maybe Mavis truly is concerned for Abrego, because she did make a comment when I was talking to her about her being afraid that Abrego's getting too close to some others. I wonder if she hangs out with Croak so that she can watch what Pelton's up to. Maybe she's, kind of a double agent. I don't know. I'm just building stories in my mind, trying to put things together, but it sounds good on paper. Which I don't use. If you talk to Santa Cano, I don't use that.
Right. The
tree thing.
lamp. Yeah. Right. I don't know how this is tied together, but it does seem like there's another level that we're missing.
Yeah, there's something behind this.
Zach, so on this ship,
Yeah.
like, we're in the bunk. Is there, like, I know it's a smaller ship, but are there other areas that we could go and look in?
There is a couple, not too many, because this is kind of like a smaller salvage ship. There is a large cargo area. There would have been more crew compartments off of that, but he tore them out to make more room for cargo, because he is straight up a vulture all the way. So there's this big cargo area, which is mostly empty right now, but would have some equipment for hauling things and securing things and whatnot. There's another secondary cargo area that was impromptu, and then there is an engineering bay, which is just a small kind of engine room where the Astral Drive is, and then there is the bunkhouse that you guys are in, the captain's quarters, and that's it. Then there's kind of like a centerpiece room, and then the bridge that's all kind of open. So almost kind of like a small area with a small table to kind of sit at. This is where he probably does his eating when he's out on the flights. There's probably like a refrigerator here, and then right next to that is where the bridge is at the front of the ship.
Okay. So there's not, like, when we came in, we saw there's not an area to investigate. Like the cargo hold's not full of stuff or anything.
And I mean, no, you could definitely investigate it if you want to. It didn't look full of stuff when you came through. You definitely would have seen the basic layout of the ship. The ship would be basically the size of like a 2-story house. Like, it's not a massive ship. It's just made for cargo hauling and that sort of thing. Probably a little bit bigger than a 2-story house. Probably like a 3-story house. But like, it's made for just cargo hauling. Fast getaways with large amounts of cargo.
He's a pirate.
He is a pirate. Well, yeah. I would call him more like a fucking scavenger, vulture, scrapper. But basically...
Han Solo type.
Yeah. Han Solo versus Croak. That's the battle we all want to see.
Yeah.
They both basically talk the same by the end.
Okay, what do you say we have a little look around this ship and see if something pops out to us? Something we might be able to get a few more clues out of.
As you say. Oh, just a quick question. Do you since you obviously removed your inhibitor, do you look any different than I'm used to seeing you? Would there been anything I noticed? Like, are your eyes suddenly like red or some shit?
So, vampires themselves don't, like, in their base state, are slightly more pale-skinned than your average human. Their fangs only come out when they go to eat people, and they don't have, like, red eyes. That being said, they do have control over shape-shifting abilities, so they tend to make themselves naturally look more human, or more flushed, if that makes sense.
So outside of game, because I wouldn't, know enough to even ask this, is the you that I know, Ash, is that what you look like, or not at all?
Yes.
It is actually what he looks like. We had a long discussion about this when we were creating the character, myself and Wizard, as to whether it would be his actual face or not.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that, because it was like a half hour, like, should you be a completely different person? But yeah, he is him.
There's certain restraints to how long I can hold certain, like, appearances. So not to, like, handicap myself anymore because I have this bracelet on. This is what I look like.
So they are pale human looking people then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The inhibitor bracelet also kind of, we decided, would stop him from mimicking. Like, if he has it on, he can't mimic somebody else, basically.
I gotcha.
Because it inhibits his abilities as vampires. That's the whole point. Is it would inhibit his abilities, but that inhibit inhibiting it actually like stops the sunlight from killing him. But basically the bracelet is killing him. So he has to take it off every so often or he will just die.
Gotcha.
Alright, so here's what we're going to do for this. I'm not going to give you guys rolls because there's nothing suspicious on this ship other than Mavis and Croak herself. You guys don't find anything. You spend a couple hours just kind of like walking around, and Croak just seems content at the bridge. Mavis seems content in the quarters, so nobody bothers you or gets in your way or anything. But and looking around, it looks like Croak is exactly what he says he is. He's a scrapper. This is what he does. He flies halls in space, pulls shit off broken ships or busted ships, and then transports them back for fencing. He does not look as though he is in any way, shape, or form evil. That being said, a lot of the people you have met who have turned out to be super evil or in line with the demon have not looked super evil or in line with the demon. So... but as far as like actual clues, I'm not going to give you guys a roll because there's just nothing here. It just looks like a scrapper's ship, basically. There's equipment, there's like nets in the back and like different like tools for maybe fixing the drive, stuff like that. You do find these 3 strange stones. I guess I should do that. You find 3 strange stones. They're kind of long, rectangular, they almost kind of feel like wet stones, and they have kind of weird writings on them. I'm going to give you both a knowledge... This would actually be spellcraft. Spellcraft intelligence check. The difficulty would be 15, because this is pretty niche as far as it goes. Forgot about these.
Actually, I have a lot of spellcraft.
I just actually rolled fairly well.
Oh, yeah, so did I. I rolled an 18 plus 5, so 23.
I rolled an 18 plus 3.
All right, so Nullis, you're able to read the writing, whereas Alfred has probably seen them in his many travels as vampire. Basically, what they are is they're one of the best things that has ever come out of Axiom. They're basically magical stones that attach to a person. When you put your hand over the ruins, they kind of suck to your skin, not necessarily painfully, but they create an atmosphere around you. So they're kind of magically in lieu of space suits, so that you can kind of spacewalk or be in non-breathable atmosphere and whatnot. They create kind of a magical atmosphere around you, so that you don't implode and stuff like that.
That's kind of cool.
It's as far as it goes, it is one like Axiom has the win on that because everybody else has to use like vac suits or like hazard suits or like very complicated suit wear, whereas Axiom was like, no, we're gonna magic this shit, and they just like they just make these stones every so often. They are relatively rare and usually kind of held for ADF personnel and stuff like that, but it's well within the possibility that an old scrapper has a bunch of them on hand.
And how many? You said there are only 3?
There's 3 that you find.
Where are they? Like, are they... I don't know how to... are they like something that looks like they're gonna get passed out, or are they like lost hidden?
You find them in like I don't want to say a locker, but something kind of locker-esque, like almost like a tool rack type thing with a door, something like that in the cargo hold, basically. All right, that was another episode of Astral Drive. We're really excited. We're getting towards the end of season 2, which has been a super exciting thrill ride. But we are done for the week. You can come back in 2 weeks to check out the next episode. Real quick, got to give everybody the chance. Jerrold, Aether Deos, what do you want to plug, sir?
Oh gosh, I don't really have anything to plug. Go watch everybody else's stuff.
Well, we'll get you more stuff to plug. Fibly330, what do you want to plug, sir?
we're on a little bit of a hiatus with TMNT and Other Strangeness, as Zach is going to be converting that into the single mod, type game. So that's on a little bit of a break, which will give you guys the perfect time to catch up to where the story is if you're interested in doing that. That's a lot of fun. And then other than that, I know in the near future I'll be working with Zach to do a one-on-one in the John Wick universe, most likely. So look forward to that whenever that comes out.
Very excited about that. It's going to be one of our 15-minute half-hour shows, and very excited to do some one-off John Wick stuff with Billy. Wizards Respite, what would you like to plug, sir?
As always, wizardsrespite.com, website where all of these can be shown. All of the TTRPG stuff is going to be up there, so definitely go check it out. We also have T-shirts and articles for DMs, GMs, and game designers who are trying to get into trying to think about different aspects of fleshing out games and how mechanics work.
So check out Wizards Respite. It's awesome. Everything you can check out there. I am actually doing a new podcast specifically for wizardsrespite.com, which all three of these gentlemen participated in. It is called Let's Start With Their Name, and it's about 20 to 40 minutes each episode. I take a TTRPG player and I just interview them about a character that they like. And that's what I'd like to plug this week. By the time this is coming out, at least 3 or 4 episodes are out. So check those out, because I'm really proud of that. I love interviewing stuff, and it's really fun to talk about some of these guys' characters, especially the ones I haven't gotten to see before. So other than that, you can, of course, buy our shirts and Wizards Respite shirt at wizardsrespite.com. Check out all of that stuff. You can check out everything on Old Man Gaming on the YouTubes. You can also contact me on Facebook at Old Man Gaming DH, on X at Old Man Gaming 9, and you can join our Discord. Links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. We are rushing towards the end of Season 2. I do want to say probably this year we are going to be taking December off again, just because things get so crazy on the video game side. But we are still a ways away from that. I just want to start warning people ahead. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next time.
Later.